How's that? Well,
Very
good afternoon
professional.
again. Today's song, we are featuring the song Georgia on My Mind. And I thought, everybody this month is celebrating Black History Month. I thought, why not do a song as inspired by the great Ray Charles, right? Most people know that. But Ray Charles didn't write the song. Do you know who did?
Hoagy
Okay,
Carmichael.
Carmichael.
Oh, you're looking on the music there. Yeah, it says it right there. I meant, do you know without looking? Yes. In fact, I was doing I remember we actually had, now, Hoagie Carmichael has a son. Did anybody know his son's name? We had a Carmichael at one of our organ fests in Arizona, or was it in Florida? I think it was in one of the organ fests, and I think it might have been the son. I'm not sure. It was one of the Carmichaels, and he played some of the songs that I think it was the son and played songs. But I was doing some research on this, and yeah, so a lot of people thought Hoagie wrote it for his wife because her name was Georgia, but it had nothing to do with that. Big meanie. But it was actually, there it is, right there. It says Hoagie Carmichael, Ray Charles, two musicians, one from Indiana, one from Georgia, at least one wonderful thing in common, the song Georgia on My Mind. In 1930, Carmichael wrote the music and Stuart Gorell the lyrics. I lost my spot. Oh, to a song some think is about Carmichael's sister. That's what it was, Georgia. And the lyrics are ambiguous enough to be about a woman or a place, but Hoagie later confirmed it was about the state. Carmichael and his orchestra first recorded the song in 1930 with Hoagie and vocals, and it was recorded dozens of times. Obviously, many musicians over the years. A great song. And then et cetera, it goes on. Now, the other thing a lot of people don't know, some of you may know this, but Ray Charles, I want to say, I think I have it here. Was it in 1969, I want to say, or 60? I forget what year it was. So let me see if I have it here. Nope. I forget what year it was, but I want to say in the late 60s, he had a concert at one of their venues, and he refused to play it. I was reading up the information, and I remember hearing something about this. And because they segregated the white from the white section, the black section, he refused to play it, and he was sued by the promoters because he refused to do a concert like that. And then he went on and played many concerts throughout the years in Georgia. But later on, the state of Georgia did an official apology to Ray Charles, and then I think it's now the state song. So anyway, some great history there. All right. Oh yeah. So now I'm going to play the song, and then I got another little funny story to tell you, but it's not about Ray Charles. It's about me and the song. All right. So anyway, let me. Can you guys see me okay there?
Yep.
All right. I'm going to start playing now. Got my music up here. Okay. pretty? All right. Now, so just out of curiosity, does anybody know what time signature we are playing in? I'm pulling up the music with so I can go through this with some of you. Does anybody want to tell me what time signature this is in?
4/4.
4/4.
4/4? Someone says 6/8.
6/8.
Oh,
4/4, 6/8. Someone said cut in half. Is there another time signature we want to say?
2/4.
We're missing one in there. 3/4?
Yeah, 3/4.
Yeah. So I have a 3/4, a 6/8, and a 4/4. Wow, we got, boy, you guys just listed almost. Now you can't say 5/4 because 5/4 is a little bit different. But it just so happens that if you said 6/8, no, if you said 3/4, no, if you said 4/4, 3/4, and 6/8, technically you're all correct. It says 4/4 in the music, yes, and most 4/4 styles will work. However, when I remember I was at, speaking of what Organ Fest, some of you who've been to Organ Fest, I better put my phone on airplane mode so if it rings, it won't cut off my camera. At one of the Organ Fests, show of hands, anyone been to Organ Fest? Once, twice, four? Some here, some of you? Yeah, in Arizona, Schmidt Music, okay. So at our Organ Fest, and they probably did this at Schmidt as well, during the dinners, what would happen is we had a lineup of all of our staff members to play for 10 minutes. So we'd all get on stage and we play background music while everyone was eating, and we knew had a rotation. And so I got up there, and one of the songs I played in the background was this song, Georgia, and nobody caught on to this, but one of the teachers at the time, he came up, he said, boy, that was a beautiful arrangement. That was a clever way of playing a 4/4 song with 6/8 and 3/4.
Oh, wow.
Well, and here's why. The style I'm using now, at the end, I'm gonna do a couple short versions of these using a lot of styles, because this is a song that there are so many rhythms that work great for this song, and it's going to sound beautiful. But the style you're going to hear today, for starters, is a style called 6/8 piano. Okay? It's under the pianist category on most models, all right? Depending on the instrument. Just look through your rhythm chart, ask your PA where it's at, but it's called 6/8 piano, all right? Most styles that are 6/8 count is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But when I'm playing it on the tempo thing, you know, where it counts for you, it actually counts in 3/4. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So if you use that style, and I would tell you, I would warn you, do not look at that while you're trying to play the song, because I'm playing the song as a 4/4, but it's counting in 3/4. If I look at that, I'm going to goof up. But listen to it. Now here's when the drums come in. So technically it could be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? 3, 4, 5, 6. Or it could be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. But I think the way I play it is 1, 2, oops, 3, 4. Okay. So this is one of those styles that if you use it for a 4/4 song, I encourage you, don't look at the count, just kind of feel it as best you can. Now, again, towards the end, I'm gonna ramble off several styles that work great for this song that I've used over the years. All right, so It does sound like a waltz. A waltz is how many? 1, 2, 3, isn't it? Yes. Yes, if you listen to it that way, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. But here's the problem. If you try playing it based on that, and you try playing this, your timing's going to get all goofed up. So the trick is don't play it like that. Play it how you hear it. So that's the best way I can explain it. And if you have difficulty with it, just go to another rhythm that's going to work for you. And I'm going to give you some suggestions. So for today, I'm going to just tell you what I've used, and then I'm going to tell you what other rhythm choices work. Now, this is really important because I want you to take really good notes on this. I'm going to type them up after I'm done. This will be posted on Monday. And I know that because I have everything scheduled through Sunday right now. So the next day is Monday. Okay? So at Monday at 4 p.m. Arizona, these notes will be posted. All right? So the trick here is just make sure to take really good notes on the sounds that I'm using for the upper and lower. And then you can use the style that I'm suggesting, or you can use these same great sounds with another rhythm if you like. Now, before I do anything, let me pull up the music. If you printed it out, hopefully it printed it out to where it showed where I make all the changes. Right? Does your printout have it? Does yours have A1 and all of that stuff, all that? How about you folks? So did you print it out and it has A1 and 2
Yep.
and all that?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah.
So as I'm talking today, I'll tell you what sounds I did in those changes. Okay. So before I go through what all the sounds and all the things that I did, let me tell you the order I played the song, and it might have made sense if I did it right. Keywords if I did it correctly. Okay, so I found this song in a Lowry Magic book, I think 4 series. Some of you had the old Lowry Magic books.
Yep.
It's in the Ray Charles book. It's in the Lowry Magic book. I want to say book 4. Don't quote me on that. It's either 1, 2, 3, or 4. It's one. I know it's blue. That's why you have the color coding in it.
Oh.
Okay, that's where I took it out of. Okay. Anyway, so the way I play the song is pretty simple. I play it from here to the beginning, as I see written, all the way through. Now you see this here? I added this repeat in here. Okay. On the second page at the very beginning. Yeah, so if your music, anyway, so I play the song all the way through, basically page 1, page 2. I go 1 through 2. All right, pretty simple, right? And then at the end of the second page, it says to repeat. And where do you go back to?
Top of the page.
The top of the second page, that's it. And then you play that whole part again, okay? Right, pretty simple. I wanted to keep this arrangement very simple. I wanted to focus a lot of it on some of the piano sounds, but I thought I don't want to just make it all piano because then I wouldn't have a class. I'd say put on rhythm preset 0 and play the whole song. So I had to get a little creative. All right. So the first setup starts at the beginning like I did here. And then when I get to this, I do the second setup. And then when I get here, right before I get to here, I do the third setup. And then I play it all the way through. And then when I get here, I do the fourth setup. Okay? And then I keep playing. When I get to the end, I do the fifth setup here before I go to the repeat. And then I play it all the way through. And then when I get to this, the second time around, I do the sixth setup, okay? So pretty simple. All right. Now, let me give you a simple arrangement too, but with some tweaks to it. And since I have numbers on this one, I'm going to use this. Only it's not color coded. I hope I can do this without my color coding. I'm going to be... All right, so for the first setup, using this style, again, you can use any style that works for you, but I kept the first setup very, very simple. I chose the style, rhythm style, 6/8 piano, and on virtually any model that has a 6/8 piano style, I put rhythm preset 0. And if you have the E series, that would be vintage 0. And it automatically sets up this just only piano. Okay? And on the top keyboard, all I have is piano. But make a note to yourself. All right? The first 3 setups are going to have the same sound on the upper and the lower. Okay? It's going to have the same sound on the upper and the lower right. Nope. Piano on the upper. I didn't tell you what's on the lower yet, but I'm going to. But it's going to have the same sound, meaning it's going to be the same setup for each preset. Okay, so let me explain. So on preset 1, when I save my preset, I have a piano sound here, and it's just a classic 9-foot grand piano that everybody has. Okay? On the lower right, I have what they call an organ jazz mellow. Write that down. Organ dash jazz colon mellow. I'll say it again. Organ dash jazz colon mellow. Because in your Genius or your sounds, you'll have to go searching. Just go to the O's, to organ, and if you see one that says that, use it. If you don't, you have one of those organ sounds. Just use one that you like. This is the one that I have. Okay?
Cannot go my Punjabo.
All right. So, before I go any further,
Fine.
Eh?
Put some
before I go any
deodorant. and you're
further,
fine. Put some deodorant and you're fine.
Dinner. Let me mute. I love it. Okay, so for the first, go back to the first setup. I chose which style? Oh, wait, I muted you all. You can unmute and answer if you like.
6/8 piano.
Okay, so we have matching answers. That's good. And the tempo that comes up with that naturally is 90. I didn't even pay attention to it. 90. Now, that may not be the case if you use another rhythm, so keep that in mind, but that's our good starting point. So if I put on 6/8 piano, rhythm preset 0, here's what's great about that preset. Are you ready? It'll automatically set up a piano on the top keyboard, which is the 9-foot grand piano, and it'll automatically set up the organ sound on the lower right keyboard. Okay? Yeah. The organ jazz mellow, she said. Okay?
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, you may.
Where would I find the 6/8 piano? Under what rhythm would it, what category would it be under?
Well, it depends on the model. What model do you have?
Liberty.
Your piano and guitar category, which is towards the bottom right, I think it says more.
Oh yeah, more or okay.
Yeah, if you push
Thank
more on the
you.
Liberty, there's a pianist. You scroll through the pages. One of them's pianist styles. On the E series, they got them scattered throughout all of the rhythms. So if you have the feature, if you have a feature called Style List in the middle of your screen,
I looked for it there. I couldn't find it.
if you go to Style List and you scroll through, and you go to It's towards the end. The numbers are towards the end. There's a stylus button, and in 6/8 piano is one of them because it's 6/8.
Oh, okay.
Okay, and
Yep.
so that's how they in this model it did it towards the end. On pretty much all of them that have it. Now, let's say I don't have 6/8 piano. What do I use, Robert? Well, I can sit here and ramble off a ton of them. You have there's one style that I'm going to play for later that I've really loved. That I used to play this when this style first came out. I used it all the time for the song, and it's called. Nope. In fact, I forgot. I just know I know where it's at. Jerome uses it a lot. Soulful Ballad, I believe is what it's called. Soul Ballad. Okay? Sounds like this. I'll play that a little bit later. Anyway, it's a good style. So Soul Ballad works great. You can use, I would use, if you're going to, personally preference, I use styles like a lot of styles under the swing category. You can use serenade. But if you use serenade, the trick I will tell you is keep the orchestra plus button off the whole time. Because otherwise you'll get that moonlight serenade fill. Da 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 da. You know. There's a style, write this one down. Dinner and Dance. And I want you to write this down because later on when I say, what were those styles I suggested? You have to tell me. Because I'm going to forget. I'm not writing anything down. Right now I should have 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, I have 61 secretaries. It's the only time I can have 61 secretaries at once. This is great. Feels good. Okay. So those were a few. Dinner and Dance, Soul Ballad, whatever one else I mentioned. Maybe in that swing category, look for those, okay? So, but if you decide to choose those styles, then you may have to manually set up just a piano on the top keyboard and then an organ on the bottom. Now, here's the cool thing. Preset 1 has just a piano and organ on the lower right. Preset 2 also has just a piano on the upper and the lower right. And preset 3 also has the same sound. But when you heard me play it, there were some slight changes that were happening to the arrangement. But that's because I did some of it with the band, the orchestra plus, etc. So the magic in this song, to keep it simple and still have that flavor of the song where it has, it builds. It's all going to come from the use of the orchestration. Now, if you happen to have a 6/8 piano style that you're using, and you set it up initially with the 0, it will automatically turn, it won't have the drums on. Listen. So there's no drummer in there. All you hear is a piano and a light bass in there. Okay? By the way, I like transposing it sometimes, so I'm going to try it in the key of A. I played it earlier in a different key, so we'll see what happens. Doesn't matter. It's not on my
Robert?
notes because, did someone say my name?
Robert, I did. Sue,
Yes.
the time signatures, you said it jumps from 6/8, 4/4, 3/4. How does that happen?
Well, the style is called 6/8 piano because of the way it can be counted as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But the
Oh.
timer on the organ counts it as 1, 2, 3. So because there's no 6. A lot of the 6/8 styles don't actually, that doesn't have a 6 counter on it. So it'll either do it as a 3 or 4. So it may go 1, 2, 3. Okay, it may go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. See?
Oh, okay.
But 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. See how mathematically it works? That's why if you use this rhythm, forget about 6/8 3/4 and just play it how you feel. And more than
Well,
likely,
that's why you said don't look at it.
don't look at it. But I
Okay.
thought it was just a fun little thing to share with everyone because every time I say that to people and they hear this style, they go, "What?" And that's the kind of style it is. But when you play it, you might play it as a 4/4. Just this is where you want to kind of just feel the beat. And you should have no problem with that, Sue, because I see you dancing all the time on Zoom. All the time. Every time we have a Zoom musical, you know, I flash people on the screen. I look for Sue first just to see. And I know she's dancing, then everybody else starts doing it. Anyway, so preset 1, preset 2, and preset 3 all have a piano on the upper and the organ in the lower right. But here's what's clever about this. The arrangement, like I said, has to do with what happens in the rhythm section, the drum, the alter style, that sort of thing. So if you use 6/8 piano, rhythm preset 0, or vintage 0, for those of you who have the vintage button, it's going to give you the same setup. You'll get just a piano sound. It'll give you that setup naturally. So the first setup should be pretty easy to do. Okay? Now, if you decide to use another rhythm, it's simple. Just make sure there's a piano here and an organ here, and pick a rhythm. Okay? Now, so that style, we'll play a little bit. The only thing that I would probably recommend if you're using another rhythm style is maybe turn off the drums. In this case, the drums is off automatically. Okay? Because all I did differently between preset 1 and 2 is all I did was add the drums. So preset 1 has no drums. Again, if you're using the 6/8 style, if you have that style, it should automatically have the drums off already. When I go to preset 2, I continue with the exact same setup, but I turn on the drums. Listen.
Robert,
Yes?
I thought I heard you switch alter also.
I will get to alter, but not yet.
Oh, okay.
All right? I'm not there yet.
Sorry.
But that will happen. But listen, here's
Okay.
preset 1. This is just the 6/8 piano, no drums, piano, and an organ sound on the lower right. Okay? Now, I'm not going to play the organ now. I'm going to save it for later, but I want you to hear it. Although you could have some fun with that. Okay, now I'm going to go to preset 2. Now listen. That's it. It's the only difference. Okay? So preset 1 and preset 2 are the exact setup. 1 has no drums. 2 has drums. Okay? And that you simply have a button that probably will say drum volume. Just make sure the drum volume's all the way off. And you'll know, can you hear the drums or can't you? If you don't hear it, that's good. And then on the second setup, if you're saving your setups, or if you're doing it manually, a lot of times I do this manually, and it's easy for me to do because the first 3 presets are the exact same setups. Only I'm bringing the drummer in. Okay? Now, pay very close attention. The third setup, I told you, has the exact same sound, okay, on both keyboards. But the band changes a little bit. Okay? Are you ready for this? Now, Sue, I'm not going to use alter style yet, but I am going to use drum variation. Whoa. Big deal, Robert. What's one little button going to do? Sometimes one little thing, the drummers, you know, poor guys, the drummers are always put in the back. They're always in the background. They don't get as, sometimes they are, but they don't get as much attention. But if you can tell a lot of drummers, they really sometimes they do a lot of body language and facial expressions. They think they want the attention. They just, you know. But if you don't, and the bass player too. But if you don't have a drummer, music wouldn't be as great as it would be. And the drummer really sets the stage. Sometimes the dynamic of the arrangement, the climax of a song, sometimes not. And depending on how they play, can all change it altogether. Listen carefully. Now I'm going to put on the rhythm. Okay, now this is preset 2. This is just the drummer. Okay, I'm going to put just drum only. Listen close. Yeah, there's some cymbals. There's a bass drum in there, and he's doing a little. He's not doing the snare drum. It sounds like he's doing what they when they put their drumstick on the rim of the snare drum. But that's just the drummer on preset 1. Now listen to number 2. Ready? Or the 3. I'm sorry. Now the drummer changed. Okay. All right. Here's 2. Here's 3. It's quite a bit different. And that's just having the drum variation on. Now, when you listen to it like that, it's like, it's not that really exciting or anything. But when you hear it with the band playing, here's number 2. And I'll play the last few measures here. Number 3. Sound feels different, doesn't it? Feels different. What I love about showcasing this arrangement is we're not doing a lot of fancy changes on the upper and the lower keyboard, just a piano and an organ. Now, before I go to number 4, let me give you a kind of a, just for whatever it's worth. So on preset 1, 2, and 3, I told you I have the same sound, the piano and the organ. I told you that the band was the changes. So the first time we had no drums, the second time we brought in the drummer, and then the third preset we just changed the drum variation. But the way I played the song, and I may do it differently if I play it again. The way I played the song the first time, on preset 1 and 2, I just featured the piano. When I got to number 3, I went down on the lower keyboard and played the organ. Now, the reason why I didn't put specifically on the notes to do that is because if you're playing the song, you can, for all 3 presets, you can go back and forth however you want. You may want to alter it up a little bit. So I may do something like this. Here's the first preset. Do something like that. That's preset 1. Number 2, do it again. So you could have some fun with that. You do it.
That's what I love
Well, you couldn't do that in any song, but technically, she said you can do that in any song. The answer is yes and no. Depends on how fast the song is. Depends on how fast the song is. Mark, I was just going to say, Marco does that a lot with some of the songs where I forget what he calls that.
Echo.
What is it?
Echo.
Echo or callback
Oh.
or duplicate or just go down there and play the same thing.
But what you just did with the organ, I love best about the organ. Up, down, whatever you feel, wherever
Yeah.
you're going. That is so that's so spectacular.
Yeah, and piano and organ is a great combination too. But so you can choose how you want to do that. Now, let's go to the last three setups. The last three setups, you're going to also find there's not a lot of changing happening, but I did switch up the sound choices. Let me tell you on preset 4, 5, and 6 what sound is on the top keyboard and what sound is on the lower right first, because it's the same concept. It's the same three presets have the same sound on the upper and the lower. What happens is what's changing in the background, okay? So, on the upper keyboard for number 4, I still have the 9-foot grand piano, but I also have some strings. And a lot of you have this tab here that's simply labeled 8-foot strings. Okay? Some of you have it depending on your model, like the EY series. Some of the EY series has a yellow tab. You push it, and then on the screen, it gives you those options, like the Inspires, I believe, and the Rialtos. On the EX series, there's an ensemble tab, Marquee, Aria, Grand Marquee, and it pulls up those 3 tabs. But the one that I'm blending with it is the 8-foot strings. You know what I love about these strings here? These yellow. Now, do you have some great string sounds in the Genius or your sound button? But those are, a lot of them are meant to be both blending sounds as well as individual. These sounds are always great for blending. So for example, if you have a piano, 8-foot strings is always perfect with that. Or 16, depending on what you have the octave. Trombone and strings is a great combination. You'll notice a lot of sounds that are, like some of the presets that give you saxophones with a harmony that's already programmed, you'll notice the strings is always put in there as a blending sound. It sort of takes the harshness away from the harmony sound, okay? So this sound then becomes okay? Now on the lower right keyboard, you want to write this down so you don't have to wait till Monday. On the lower right, I have 2 sounds combined to give you this effect. I have a flugelhorn and a Louis trumpet. But if you're looking for the Louis trumpet, you go to the T's, trumpet, Louis. And I have them both in the solo down here.
Preset are you on, Robert?
What's
What
that?
What preset are you talking about?
Oh, now I'm on 4, 5, and 6.
Okay.
Okay, now, like the first 3 presets, 4, 5, and 6 are going to have the same sound on the upper and the lower right keyboard, but I'll tell you the changes that I'm doing over here in a minute, okay? Now the question was what? Where do I find those sounds? Okay. Okay, so I have flugelhorn and trumpet, Louis. See, Lowry has always put a lot of the sounds, but they group them by category. So instead of putting Louis trumpet and scrolling to the L's, they put it under the T's for trumpets. You just push the Genius button and you scroll until you get to the T's. And then when you get to the T's, there's a bunch of trumpets. Are you ready? Trumpet, trumpet classical, trumpet Dixieland, trumpet lead, trumpet Louis shakes, trumpet, or is that trumpet lead or is that trumpet lead? Lead. No, I'm just making fun. Trumpet Louis. Actually, to get to trumpet Louis, you go to trumpet Louis.
Robert.
Yeah, 1 second. Oh, she can't hear you. Right? Someone's asking a question here, but you can't hear. Hold that thought. What was that? You go to any of the Geniuses that you're programming. In this case, I put the sounds down here as a solo instrument, so I went to the Genius solo to scroll in this case. And I press Genius, and I scroll to Trumpet Louis, and then on this one here, I scroll to Flugelhorn. And then you push the two together. So now they're both on the lower. You have a question out there?
Yeah, where is the Genius on a marquee?
On the marquee. Oh, that's a great question. So write this down. If you ever hear us say a sound in the Genius, on the marquees, the button is called sound. So you don't have a Genius button, you have a sound button. They do the same thing. Okay? So if you're looking for these on the A series, that's the Prestige, the Legend, the Holiday Classic, the Symphony, the Sterling, the Patriot, the Liberty, and Imperial, they're called Genius. If you have the E series, they're called Sound. Okay? So you would go to the Sound on that right side in the solo section, and then you would scroll to the two sounds that you're getting. And then what'll happen is you'll get this. Okay? Flugelhorn, and the second sound is trumpet colon Louis. It just means it's a trumpet sound, and then it's some of the sounds will sound similar. That's why a lot of times I like to blend the two. They give you a nice little different flavor. Now, before I forget, something I've been doing the entire time is I have the touch sensitivity on, okay? Now let me clarify. If you have the A series, SU series, that's Stardust, the Royale, the Prestiges, Grand Royale, Sterlings, Liberties, all those models. Okay, oh, I said A series, so my computer thinks I'm speaking to Siri. My computer thinks I'm talking to her. I better stop her before she says something rude. I got to be careful when I say, hey, Siri. Oh, okay. All right. It's called dynamic keying. On the E series, it's called touch, keyboard touch. And all that means is that when you strike the notes soft or harder on the keyboard, they give it a little bit, that's why they used to call it dynamic keying, because it gave it a little bit of dynamics. Makes it softer or louder. I've used it the entire time. Now, some people would say, no, I can't use that feature because I don't hit the notes hard enough. But think about the arrangement you're listening to now. Listen to this arrangement. It's not a busy arrangement. It's just a drum, a bass, and a guitar in the background. So this is one of those setups that you may want to experiment with the dynamic or touch feature, because you don't have to hit the notes super hard to hear it. But the reason why I like it, especially in these next three presets, 4, 5, and 6, listen to how I play the notes with the horn. I'm barely touching it. Okay.
Did you have that dynamic keying on?
Yep.
Then?
I have it
Okay.
on the whole time.
Oh, okay.
Oh, everything. Because in that way, as I'm playing, the softer or harder you hit, it's kind of giving those music instruments the characteristic that it has. Yeah, it gives it character. Okay? And more than likely, if you're using this rhythm especially, you won't have any problem not hitting it hard enough. because I barely hit it in the first time. It's already a strong sound. Now, so preset 4, 5, and 6. You have it on your paper. Let me tell you what I did with the band, okay?
Robert, I didn't get 6. What was that? The dynamic key?
4, 5, and 6 are the exact same setup on the upper and the lower keyboard.
Right, but A6?
A6 as well is the same thing, but I haven't done anything with the band yet. So on preset 4, preset 5, and preset 6,
Yep.
the upper keyboard has piano with 8-foot strings, and it has the
Flugelhorn.
flugelhorn combined with the trumpet Louis, and I have dynamic keying on the whole time on all of it, all of the over here, or touch for those of you who have the touch feature, okay? Now, but let's go back to what the band is doing, okay? So on preset 4, if you remember on preset 3, remember I turned on the drum variation? Go back to number 3. Remember I told you drum variation on? So here's what you do on 4. You ready for this? This is a very big major change. I turned it off. And all I did is brought it back to the original band the way it was. That was it. But yeah, that's it. But listen to it. It's sometimes enough to make a difference. And when you're playing the sounds, it makes it different in the arrangement. Now number 5, I might stump you a little bit. Now number 5, guess what I do on number 5?
Alt style.
I do alter style, yes, but I do something else. Alter style with drum variation on.
Oh.
Drum variation on, but this time, correct. But this time I do drum variation and alter style. Now here's the cool thing. If you don't use the alter style, but just the drum variation, you're still going to get the same effect. The reason is on number 5, I believe I'm playing that same part again of the song. So I want to change the way the rhythm feels.
So was that A5 that we did the drum variation on?
Yes,
And the alt
A-
style? Okay,
Yes, A5 will have the drum variation and alter style.
okay.
Okay?
Thank you.
And then on number 6, I turn off drum variation and alter style. Exactly. Okay? So basically, A1 and 2 and 4 and 6 have no drum variation or alter style, if that's what you wrote down.
Right.
A3 has the drum variation on, and A5 has a drum variation on as well with alter style. Now, let me show you how I play this, because on when I get to when I'm at the end of number 3 here, and I go to number 4, I go to number 4, and then I just go on the top keyboard and I start playing with that piano string combination. On number 5, go to the lower keyboard, and then you do the horn sound. 6, I stay on the lower keyboard. I'm on number 5 right now. Right before I go to number 6, I hold the fill-in down, transpose up a half step, and then go to number 6. Alternate at some point whenever I feel like it. And then I repeat the last line one more time. So let me go back and explain this last page because I was saying it as I was playing it. What I wanted you to do is have the setup first because I thought that was actually pretty simple. You got the rhythm, what I do with drum variation, piano strings on top, okay? So when I got to the fourth setup, or number 3 here, remember I played the organ on the bottom here. When I got to the fourth setup, I played on the upper keyboard, the piano and the string sound, okay? And I played it. Yes?
Did you play the strings 8 or 16 or both?
Only.
Oh,
Piano and 8-foot strings together, okay?
Okay.
So I have on the upper keyboard, starting on the 4th preset here, I play this part here with the piano and the strings on the upper keyboard, okay?
huh?
And when I got to here and got to my 5th setup, because I already had it set up, I went down on the lower keyboard and I played that real nice horn sound on the lower right. But remember, it goes back to here, okay? And I play, and I go through here, and I go through here, and I go through here. And when I got to here, this is the part where I actually held, right before number 6, I stayed on the lower right keyboard, but I held the fill-in, and then I transposed up a half a step.
Where?
Right here. Can you see my mouse moving?
Oh, oh, okay. Okay.
Right on number 6.
Okay.
Okay? Up half a step. And it
Yeah.
doesn't matter what key you're playing the song in. Like earlier I said, I transposed it down to A, and if you want to do it, it doesn't matter which key you're in. Just I elevate it by transposing a half a step. And then I continue playing on the lower right keyboard. Okay? And then at some point, I alternate both keyboards. I go up to the piano side, you know, on the 6th setup, I'll continue with the sound on the lower right. And then somewhere in here, I think I went up and did the piano and strings. Okay? But at the very end, what I didn't notate on here, and the reason is I didn't think of this until just now. As I was playing it, I thought it might be fun to do it this way. At the very end, I play this last line again.
Mhm.
Okay?
Robert, did you go back up to the first line with the other dots?
Nope, I played this very last line right here.
Okay.
All right?
Okay.
And I held the note and I stopped. See if you can follow me on the music. So I'm going to do preset 6 as you see it on the screen there. So the last two lines is, Georgia, okay? So it's going to sound something like this. See what I did there? Yeah.
Robert,
Yes?
you said to repeat that last line and fade, but then you got up and walked away from the organ and it was still playing. So that had to be an ending, right? You hit the ending.
Yeah, I didn't put the end. Earlier I did. I pushed the ending, but
So you
But
could
what
do it
I-
either way.
so what I do, yeah, you could. I would use the ending. I just stopped right there just so you could see. But what I did was, here's the last two. You can do. I'm going to do that last line one more time. When I get to that B flat right there, I stop it, I hold it. How long do you hold it, Robert? Till I feel like letting go. Boy, this guy's got big lungs. And then when you're done, then I actually use the ending in the organ. All right? Does that make a little more sense?
Yes,
Now-
thank you.
When I update these notes and I post it, I will put that in there so you guys have it for those of you who download it from Patreon. Now, let's make your life more complicated. And when I say complicated, it's not complicated. This is purely optional, okay? So this song was actually very hard for me to play using the music because I've played it so much over the years without the music. Then when I went to go play it today, there were part of the song that I went, those aren't the chords I play. There was a couple spots that were different chords than what I play. And actually, when I did it earlier, when I've opened up the class with the song, because the second page you see there, I repeat it, remember? I actually did it both ways to see, and nobody didn't say anything, didn't sound bad. So the first way I did it was as you see it. So on the second page, you got the G chord there. Playing the chords as I see them. Whoops, I lost my spot. I had to really think because I'm not used to using those chords there. Most of them are the same. What I typically do is this, and let's see if I can catch it as I do it, okay? Okay, so you have the music up there, you see it?
Yeah,
So one of the things that I do here, sometimes, well, all the time technically, is sometimes I do an A minor instead of the, yeah. So I'm going to put this on the screen, and I'm going to tell you, but check this out. You guys are going to think I'm nuts. Well, I am nuts, but That's what I played.
I'll change
Yeah, watch.
7.
Here it goes. D minor. G. Oh wait, let me do it. I might have did it in the wrong place. Don't write that down yet, folks. Yep, here we go. A minor. Okay, and then I did it again a little bit. I did an A minor here. Can you see that?
Yep.
Okay, I'm going to put it off to the side here. The camera's in the way. Uh-oh. Go to the... How about this? How about this? Does that work? You see that? So right here, I do A minor, I do the E, and I do the here. But when I do it the second time, sometimes I don't play that chord right there.
Oh,
The D7. If I
You just
do,
don't play anything?
I just don't play a D7 at all.
You
oh,
don't play anything.
So this is, I'm going to put, I'll tell you what I'll do, is I'll do this.
and that's pretty cool.
I'll do this. I'll put this in parentheses.
Oh, yeah, because you can do it if you want to.
There we go. How's that? Now, your ears are going to say, nah, Robert, I don't like it. That's okay. You got to like what you're doing. Okay? Okay, can you see that there?
Yep.
Mhm.
All right. I got the
But you're
class here. Trying to look at my corrections on the TV around my camera. I put
Robert?
parentheses around the D. That means try playing without it. If you don't like it, then then play it.
Okay, okay,
Mhm.
okay.
Here, yeah, right here. First of all, this line here, I play A minor and E7th. Now I will tell you this. I did try it once where I did my A minor and then I did the G and I didn't like it. So what I'm going to encourage you to do is play this and this or this and this. But I wouldn't crisscross. It may sound funny. Okay?
Okay.
Did I do it anything else over here? Okay. And then down here, I just put an A minor. And then I optionally play the D7th right here sometimes. Yeah. If I don't mark it on there, yeah. Okay. All right. Okay.
What about the first page?
First page, I think I played the chords. They did it the way I wanted it.
Okay. So you were happy.
Yes, I was. I didn't see anything that was bad. You'll see the B flat minors are in parentheses.
Oh, yeah,
Those,
yeah.
those were there already. I don't know if I play those B flat minors. Let's see. I'm gonna see. I don't know. I play it. I typically don't play the B flat minor. I don't, but I just tried it to see what it sounded like, and it wasn't bad. I've never played the B flat minors, but they were already in parentheses. How they did it before, so that means it's optional. But I don't play the B flat minors and never have. I don't know. I just sometimes when you learn a song, see when we learn songs and we memorize them, we get it so much to where we memorize the song without the music, and then when you play that song so much over the years, you end up playing it a certain way that when you go back and look at, because I didn't learn it out of this songbook, I learned it out of something else, and sometimes the chords are different, a little bit different. So then when I go back and I play it and I go, wait, they have chords there that I'm not usually doing. Where'd that come from? So anyway, I'm going to finish up with a couple suggestions. So earlier, we were talking about some other suggestions that may work. Let me put my accompaniment lock here. Swing, dinner, and dance, I think was one of them.
Yep.
All right, let's start with the dinner dance. I'll finish with the soul ballad. But here's dinner and dance, the style called dinner and dance. That's nice. What was the other one?
Soul
Oh.
ballad.
Serenade. Let's see if
Yeah,
serenade,
serenade.
works. Let's see what serenade sounds like. Orchestra plus off, yes. Because if you don't, you get Moonlight Serenade fills. I'm gonna slow it down. Soul ballad
Yeah.
is my favorite out of those. I gotta remember where it's at. Here it is. So here's soul ballad. I might have to change the tempo. Yeah, actually, it doesn't matter what you do with the soul ballad. That's the intro. That works pretty
Question.
nice. Yes.
I think that's a song set. I think that's the one they use in the song set. But my question is, do you still do the A1, A2, A3 or not?
Well, if you're doing this, the key to the A1, 2, 3 is that if you decide I'm going to use the soul ballad or whatever
Yeah.
rhythm, the idea is that set it up and then save it on A1, and then set up the next setup, save it on A2, because what's there in A1 and 2, 3 is just organ sounds from they're just generic organ sounds. So if you go push A1, A2, if you just go home and push A1, A2, it's not going to sound like anything. So the idea is that you select the rhythm, put the sound that you want on both keyboards, and then save it on A1. And then Robert said, turn on the drums on the second setup. Okay, so turn on the drums, and then you save it on A2.
Right.
And then on A3, he said to do this. And you do that, and then you save it on A3. And then on A4, I got to make these, so make these changes, and then you save it. So that way, when you got it all programmed, all you have to do is push A1 and play, push 2, push 3, and then just do it in order. Yeah. And then if you're able to acquire the presets somehow, then they're already done for you. Yeah.
Robert,
Yes.
is there a rhythm and blues rhythm that suits that?
I don't know. You know how you find out?
Well, I always play it there.
Yeah,
so-
well, let's go to Rhythm and Blues and see. That's organ and blues. And then I fool around with the drum variations. That's how I played it, and I liked it. That was
Yeah.
that was organ blues.
I don't play it that fast.
It might be a little fast, but let's try this one. Here, ready? Let's see. This one works great. Oh yeah. what rhythm style that one is?
No, what is it? I love it.
It's life. I did intro too, so you wouldn't tell about right away. But the reason why that style works because it's a 6/8 style. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's got that feel.
That was nice.
Life.
Can you use
Life.
spots of ink?
LIFE.
Okay, now you changed your tempo a couple of times. You told us originally you started out at 90, but you were all over the place, weren't you?
Yeah, but depends on the rhythm. So like that rhythm there,
Yeah.
life comes up
Yeah.
at 73.
Oh, okay. So just,
So-
all right.
So 73, you start with the rhythm that it gives you, the tempo that it gives you first,
Okay.
okay? And if you need
Yeah.
to slow it down or speed it up, that's up to you.
Robert, can you use spots of ink?
I don't know, can you? No, I'm just kidding. Let's see. Spots of ink. Actually, you can use any style you want. If you like it, use it. I just got to know where it's at. I know it's under spots of ink. I'm going to use the style list. Spots of. Intro off. Yeah, you could. You just have to
Yeah.
set the tempo. That was a little fast for me. That was at 85. Might slow it down. The answer is if you think of a style that you're wondering, try it. If you like it, then the answer is yes. Okay. Now, folks, I just realized I got carried away. I've got something I have to do in 10 minutes. For Joni, for a couple of her students over there. So first of all, I want to say thank you so much for attending.
Thank
I hope
you.
you enjoyed the class. I'll get all this information on our Patreon site. Any other things that I added today to the notes, I'll add to that and put it up there. I'll put the presets up there if you know how to download them. And that's all I have for now. So thank you very much. And for
Thank
those of
you.
you who are locally, don't keep an eye out. We have Dennis All coming to our stores next month. Thank you so much, everyone. Stay safe, keep playing music, and mwah!
Thank you.
So